Hello everybody. Welcome back. This is the Big Bad Anime Channel. My name is Noah. I am a concept artist, illustrator, 2D animator, and storyboard artist. This is our Mecha-sketch series, episode 1, part 3. Thank you for joining us. We're just getting a little more specific with some of our lighter highlights. Not only with reflectivity and the shine of the metal, but also in some of the places where the paint has been chipped away through battle. Other scuffs and, just rough and tumble activity that a battle droid, a mech like this would go through. I'm thinking this is more of a power suit than a droid or a robot or a bot, as it were. I'm thinking there's a guy inside, at least one guy inside of this thing. So we're talking, it's a decent sized piece of machinery, maybe 10, 12 feet tall, something like that. And this is a time when I come in with the line work and kind of clean up and define and refine some of the ideas that I've laid down when I've just been working in the color shades. And this can be a really fun part of the process. For me, this is when kind of things start to get good, because I can really crystallize what I was thinking and throw away the things that didn't actually end up working, and just find the character in there. Even though it's a mech, it's a piece of machinery, I think there is a personality. At least I'm trying to infuse some sort of personality or look and feel to the character, so you get a sense of even who's piloting this thing. And in a way, at this point, I'm still sketching in a way. There isn't necessarily, I'm still searching. I don't have all of it worked out yet. And you can see me working through different line variations and different ways to do the plate separations. And the overall idea is I'm not precious with it. I'm still kind of sketching, as I said. And that's a good thing, because there's still magic to be discovered. If I don't think I have it all blueprinted out, there's still room to just be surprised. And if you think you have it all figured out ahead of time, if you do have a blueprint, there's really going to be no room for that extra bit of magic. So I'm looking to surprise myself and find ways to have the process surprise me. Things like happy accidents, as Bob Rice used to say. And they're everywhere if you let them happen. So keep in mind, you can always save a version of this. This can, save as version 1, version 2, version 3. And then that way you don't have to be precious and you don't have to try to save all your darlings. You can just shoot from the hip, try everything, and what doesn't work out, just throw out. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And the nice thing with digital programs is you can afford to be a little wild and take risks during your creative process, but also you can, like I said, save different versions so you don't have to lose anything if things don't go the way you expected or the way you want. You can have your cake and eat it too. The other part of this is, don't forget, this should be fun. You should be having a good time. And I think one thing that happens to a lot of artists, myself included, is getting self-serious or taking everything too seriously or too personally. And it's really good and really just healthy, I think, to be able to laugh at yourself. To be able to laugh at your mistakes, laugh at things that didn't go your way. And that's going to happen a lot of the time if you're taking risks and you're swinging for the fences. You're going to fall, you're going to be off balance at times. You're going to fall down at times. You're going to look silly at times. And just being able to laugh at yourself and laugh at the hilarity of whatever situation you may find yourself in or whatever goes wrong, just having a sense of humor about it goes really a long way to helping things just feel better, whether it goes good or it goes bad. And happy accidents is a real thing. Once you stumble upon something that was actually not intended, that actually works out, it's an amazing thing. So that's why I court those happy accidents. That's why I'm always kind of shooting a little wild and then pulling it back once I go over the line. And the thing is, the funny thing about the line, stepping over the line is always moving. If you're growing as an artist, as you're growing, getting better at what you do, your sphere of understanding, your competence grows, which means the line grows. And what you can get away with expands. And you're going to find that that line is always moving. So you're going to always have to keep one eye on when you pushed it too far or overwork something, versus just finding that Goldilocks zone, that just right space. And the way that I find that, since the line is moving, is I intentionally go over the line and then just pull it back a little bit. I've said before that it's a lot easier to pull something back from the line than it is to try to stretch not enough material to fit to meet the line. And that gets a little bit more when you start world building and when you start dealing with a cast of characters or building just a whole environment. That's when it's going to get into how much you need, how much content is needed, I think. But when you're working for yourself in this kind of way, it's really more about what you think is good. And as we've spoken about before, it's all about having a sense of what do you watch in your free time? What's your favorite movie, animated series, comic book, web series, webcomic, whatever it is. Having those touchstones and knowing where your line of excellence is, what you look to be the gems, the top shelf, that's going to give you a sense of where you're trying to go, where you want to take it. If you want to meet that level, I suggest keeping those things in mind, those touchstones, those benchmarks. For me, a great example that I like to use, one of my favorite movies of all time, is Aliens. And not just from it's a great entertaining watch, but from some of the perspective of the concept design that went into the ships, the armor, the weapons, the kind of culture around some of those things, the way that was portrayed. Even machinery, they had mechs in that. It was quite, even if you watch it now, it's a feat of filmmaking. All that was done with practical effects. I mean, you couldn't do that today. I mean, not in the way that they make films today. But I say all that to say this, that it's good to have inspiration. Use it as inspiration. Don't use it as degradation. Don't degrade your work because it's not at the level of this benchmark or that touchstone. That's not the way you use this, I don't think. I think it's used as a way to infuse a little bit of those things you love into everything you do. All the work that you create has all of those influences from our lives. But to be a little bit intentional at times, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Especially when we're working on our own projects, working on things from our imagination or just kind of honing our creative skills. When you're working on a project, I think that's going to happen unintentionally, but also be conscious of what percentage you use. Because if you're working on kind of a cutesy project, probably bringing in the colonial marines armor designs and weapons is not going to be helpful. So just be aware that there's a time and a place for everything. And some of that we're just subconscious, we're not really aware or can't control it, but also kind of take a critical eye to it to make sure some of your influences aren't just inadvertently showing up. Ghost in the Shell isn't right for every single project, just keep that in mind, or whatever your touchstone is, that's one of mine. That's why I use that. But you just got to keep an eye towards it. Sometimes you got to throw that stuff out and find new inspirations, find new things that draw you to a certain genre or a certain project. Always be searching and having that spirit of adventure, looking for new inspirations, new touchstones, new benchmarks. I think those things are really important as well, because we're growing and so should our sphere of things that we're influenced by grow. Anyways, my name is Noah. This is the Big Bad Anime Channel. You are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, don't forget forget to like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you get all the new videos coming out. Next up, we got Volume 3. And we're, like I said, we're just starting up here, but we got a lot to go through, so stick around. I'm happy to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in.